Hey guys, it's just me today. Just doing chores basically. Going to be talking about one thing that has really gotten to me, and also I think affects particularly everybody within this demographic of our generation. And it's why I've given up dating, honestly. And the reason why I'm talking about this today is because I've seen a lot of other videos basically talking about it. And at the same time, I've seen I've really been binging on it because it's like, wow, like why am I having these troubles? Like, I mean, if I'm good at flirting, if I'm attractive, like if I have all these things going except for the money part, like why? Like what's going on? And it's just the thing that I basically came to realization on is that most people today, honestly, within our generation, are over medicated and are mentally ill and are mentally deranged. And a lot of children today, which was not previous, which was not normal previous to, this whole modernization, is single motherhood. So you have a lot of kids today that basically don't know anything whatsoever when it comes to the woman's side being on, you know, how to be a woman, like looking for the kind of quality man that it is and stuff like that. And at the same time, since the mother doesn't have time, the single mother, because now it takes two jobs, and even that's not even enough in the United States of America. Like, like basically, when it comes to that, you have that happening. So they don't know a healthy, you know, output for what it is to be a man. I mean, usually they just go out here and then they just think like, oh, I'm gonna get a man, I'm gonna get a boyfriend, and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, even though he's an asshole and a piece of shit, who's a cheating loser, I mean, basically all she knows, she doesn't know anything. She doesn't know anything because, there was never a father in her life. So you see this phenomenon happening. You also see the phenomenon of masculinity decreasing because, again, lack of fathers in the home. And at the same point, you see you see a lot of fucking broken hearts. You see a lot of fucked up people. And you see a very pornified society. That's what America has become. America has become a very pornified society. The reason why I say that is because if you have a husband, if you're the traditional family, if you have anything like that, basically, like, oh, you're a family and stuff like that, it's frowned upon. Like, that's basically the new counterculture within this generation. Another reason I'd like to point out is that a lot of men today they're just not men because they haven't been able to mirror or see how their fathers are. So a lot of them do not have any masculinity whatsoever. And a lot of them are people pleasers, you could say simps to women, because they grew up in a single mother household. That's all they know. So you're seeing this big phenomenon happening within dating. And people like to put up these statistics like, oh, like shaming men and stuff like that. Like, oh, it's men, you know, men are the ones that are single and stuff like that. I mean, if you really look across the board, everybody hates dating today in this country. Everybody hates dating today in this country. Everybody. Everybody does, literally. And it's just the only people that honestly like dating are the higher income earning men. And the reason why is because guess what? They have a select few of women that can, that it can basically, they can go around and stuff like that. And just, that's it. We don't care. We don't care at all. And just toss them right out. Sorry for my hair. It's just. Okay, yeah. This is better. I just woke up. But just, yeah, when it comes to dating in the United States, that's the reason why we have these problems within society. And You have mass psychosis when it comes to, stop. You have mass psychosis when it comes to women comparing themselves on social media to these fucking unrealistic beauty standards. Stop it. And then you also have men who basically don't know anything of what it is on what they're looking for in a woman, because guess what? Their mother was absent, a single mother, because she's had to work 2 jobs, basically. So this is the paradigm you have in the United States of America now. You have a whole group of broken ass kids, mentally, emotionally, and even sexually now with, stop it, with the rise of OnlyFans and stuff. And it's just really sad. Like I look at a lot of these people, especially these like older successful women who are just, they're single. They're literally single. And I mean, the creator of Sex and the City, she's worth $18 million, but guess what? She hasn't had sex in 5 years, literally. That was what she told the Times, the Daily, the UK. I don't know the name of it. But when it comes to dating, yeah, dude, it's not, and also girls, because I'd like to speak to girls on this issue. I'm just going to tell you this right now. It is not your fault. What you are seeing right now is a mass psychosis and a crisis of both femininity and masculinity. That is what you are seeing right now. And when it comes to this, you have a lot of people who are lost, that don't even know what they want. And at the same time, you have people that would rather, you got these depressed ass men on this red pill shit. Like, oh, just focus on money, just focus on the grind, focus on the hustle and stuff like that. And it's like, at the same time, it's like, okay, great, but what is being a bachelor who's rich and has money? How the fuck is that going to make you happy when you're on your deathbed? How is that going to make you happy? That's not going to make you happy. That's the whole point. It's not going to make you happy at all. And when it comes to, the women's side now, basically, the Sex and the City, the creator of it, she has $18 million in the bank and she hasn't had sex in 5 years. Like, what does that tell you? All this stuff is a lie. It's like, oh, like, be a boss babe, be a sister and stuff like that. It's like, you ladies, listen, you ladies have to understand this. You guys have to understand this. The corporation is not loyal to you. I find it fucking amusing because I see a bunch of women like, oh, be strong, independent, career over everything. But at the same time, guess what? They're not willing to respect their husbands or their boyfriends. You'd rather respect a fucking career that would rather, honestly, you get an abortion than actually, by choice, since I'm pro-choice, have a child, have a family, and take out maternity leave. Because it costs the company. They would rather you have an abortion because it's cost effective. You women need to understand this. The corporation does not give a fuck about you. It does not care about you. And I think a lot of women, unfortunately, since I'm seeing a lot of women now becoming homeless, sadly, because, it takes 2 incomes basically. A lot of women, unfortunately, are waking up to the hard truth that it's not all as it's cracked up to be. And no, it certainly is not. It is not all it's cracked up to be at all. Because when it comes to corporations and government, whenever they say to do a certain thing, always be suspicious and wary of it. Always. But then for the men's side, saying like, oh, you can't simp this or that. It's like, what's wrong with going up to a woman? What's wrong with literally saying, oh, yeah, I think you're very attractive, this and that, and then you say a little flirt comments, this and that. Like, how is that simping? You're literally doing the natural, innate male urge of reproduction. You literally are. You're literally following your masculine psyche. Like, how the fuck is that? Now you got these same people telling us to be like, oh, now you gotta ignore it. It's like, it's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. And then at the same time, you go, you know, you got these people now that just hate women. I mean, let's just be real. I mean, I'm sorry, but Fresh and Fit, they hate women. It's really fucking clear. They rarely they invite someone who's intelligently well. Okay, like not so erudite. Like Not So Erudite fucking owned Fresh and Fit. Literally, that's the reason why she hasn't been back on their show. Okay, like you got these red pill dudes. They're just like, oh, get a bunch of girls, be within your urge of masculinity. Like saying a bunch of this bullshit, and then at the same time, they're like, women are sluts, women are whores, and then at the same time, guess what? They're inviting people from seeking arrangements. I'm not kidding. Myron Gaines, he has a seeking arrangements account. Meanwhile, he's like bashing fucking girls. They're sugar babies, basically. And then he bashes them for it. It's like, what the fuck? Like, that's. And of course they're stupid. They're too stupid because they're bimbos, of course. That's easy to point out. But that's what I'm saying. They don't like smart women. Like, a woman who's actually smart, who's actually. That's the reason why they haven't invited her back on. That's the reason why they haven't. Because she's a smart woman. And because she knew how to eloquently talk. But yeah, when it just comes to dating and walking away and stuff like that, those are the reasons why I walked away. Like, the reasons why I walked away was because people are lost. People have no fucking clue what the hell they are. I mean, you got a bunch of girls out here thinking they're lesbian or some shit, and then you got dudes. I'm not kidding. You're supposed to alpha male red pill dudes, like, all of a sudden now having some sort of attraction to men just because of like what they've been seeing on it. It's like I said, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Like, that's the reason why I've given up on dating, because yeah, there's a lot of broken people. Sorry, camera came out, but yeah, that's the reason why I've given up on dating, because a lot of people have completely lost their way. And that's what I've realized. Like, when masculine wise, I haven't lost my way. I know what I'm going for and what I'm working towards. That's a JavaScript certification. That's HTML, CSS, and a React certification, front-end web developing. So I already know what I want. I already know what I'm going for. But yeah, most of these people today, like in the West, unfortunately, they're lost. They're really, really lost. And you have corporations, you have government literally, like reiterating the fact that, oh, men suck, this and that, pitting women against men. And it's working. It's literally working. I mean, I haven't seen two people, like just groups, like if you were to take a subgroup and another group, at conflict with each other, and we're talking about half the population. Like, literally, we're talking about two opposite gender ends of the spectrum. Like, seriously. Like, that's what I'm saying. So that's the reason why I've also given up on dating. Like, it's just, I see so many people going into echo chambers, literally. Like, they're either going into these like male hating echo chambers or these female hating echo chambers and never getting out. And then you also got this weird passport bros thing. I'm just, listen, I'm going to be real with you. Don't get me wrong. I want to go to another country. I do. To find a woman. I would. Of course, I do. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I speak French. I speak Russian. Why not? I mean, seriously, I know the culture. I know the language. I mean, but most of these dudes are the passport bros. They're not going there for women. They're not going there for, no. They're going there for prostitution. They're going there, this is my apron. But yeah, they're going there for prostitution. They're going there for weird stuff. And then they get right back on the plane, literally, in just 5 days. They can't even get the local women because they're not interested. They have to talk to them. They actually have to get to know them, and that's not time efficient to them because they only have X amount of time to actually be there until they have to clock in back to work in the United States. So the Passport Bros movement, it's full of fucking shit. You can go watch a video on Austin Holloway, Al Holloman. Like, he literally has just left the Passport Bros. Like, the archetype of the Passport Bros has just left the actual movement. So that's what I'm saying. When it comes to dating in the United States of America, it's like, I am not a passport bro. I'm just a man with a purpose. That's what I am. And when it comes to dating in this country, like one of my friends that I spoke to, her boyfriend was single for 8 years until he met my boss at work. Like, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy with how bad it's gotten. It's really crazy how bad it's gotten. Like, and then also she, like my boss, not mentioning her name for privacy concerns, she was single for 2 years. Like, yes, you could definitely say that, like, you know, women have it easier, like, on the dating spectrum, of course, but at the same time, when it comes to commitment, way harder, way fucking harder, way harder for women when it comes to commitment, because when it comes to the men, they're the ones who are easier to detach sex from commitment. It's easier doing that for men. I mean, that's, of course, but when it comes to this video today, yeah, that's what I wanted to get on here, talk about today, and just fold my clothes and everything. I have a video actually of just cleaning my room, you know. I mean, it can be very therapeutic at times, like at first, because, you know, you feel like you hate it, but at the same time, you know, because you're doing it in repetition, you're just thinking over things. It actually becomes calming after a while. I mean, especially playing 99HZ music. I'm going to have a chanting video on wealth and manifestation tonight. So tune into that. I am trying to get live stream on YouTube. I don't know what they've been doing basically with that, so I've really got to try to get a live stream going. Because I would love to live stream meditations. Well, I don't really per se meditate, I really chant. I love to chant. I love to chant, I love to beat the drum. That's what I love. I love saging rituals, exploring, like that's honestly what I love when it comes to my practicing faith. So see you on the next video. You take it easy. Goodbye, guys. Goodbye, everybody.